Oh, hi there. So in this video, we're going to start our very first practice problems. In this, we're going to practice understanding a little bit about opportunity cost, then the difference between micro and macro, and then finish with the difference between normative and positive. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. In the first part of this practice set, we're just going to look at like the concept of opportunity cost. And in here, we have four statements, 1 through 4. Each one is true, but the reason that it's true is because of opportunity cost. And so we're going to try to explain why it's true using OC. More people go to college when there is high unemployment, which is a true statement. The opportunity cost of going to college, right? So it's kind of like the choice we're making, going to college. And we would say it's very low because we would say wages are low and hard to find a job, hard to get a job. And so what that really is saying is that, well, if I go to college, I'm not giving up a whole lot because it's so hard to find a job and wages are so low. So that means the thing I'm giving up by choosing to go to college is the opportunity to get a good job, but there's not those jobs there. So we'd say the opportunity cost is pretty low. More people do their own repairs when the economy's in recession, the wages are low. It's a similar concept. The opportunity cost of DIY, do-it-yourself repairs is low because, well, we just said wages are low. And so the idea here is that when you do your own repairs, you're giving up the opportunity to go earn a paycheck somewhere. Well, if you're not earning a paycheck because you're in a recession, right, that unemployment, that's going to mean that you don't have much of a cost to doing your own repairs, right? You're not giving up the opportunity to earn money. Third statement, suburban areas have more parkland than urban areas. We'd say the opportunity cost of land is, we'd say land in the burbs, right? And when I say burbs, I mean like way far out suburbs, is low because land value is low. Those are actually kind of two ways of saying almost the same thing, that like people don't value land except in really, really dense environments. And the reason that they value them there is because they can make more money with it. Think about it this way. If you had a downtown area that was thriving and you had the opportunity to build a skyscraper or a park, well, there's a really high cost to that park. But that exact same park, the same area in a suburb, you might only give up one or two houses. So there's not very much value in that compared to, say, a 40-story building. So we would say that there is more parkland in suburbs, really just because the opportunity cost of land is relatively low in those areas. Busy people more often shop at convenience stores despite higher prices. So the opportunity cost of, we'd say, busy people, I'm going to abbreviate, people's time, right? The cost of people's time is high. And we know that's true because they're willing to pay higher prices. It's a way of basically explaining this phenomena that like at a 7-Eleven, people are going to pay more for exactly the same product that you would get in a, say, a giant grocery store. But the benefit of shopping at the convenience store is that it's convenient, right? You don't have to waste your time and wander around into the big store. You get in, you get out. And so you have very high opportunity cost of spending all your time in the grocery store. So that's why you shop in a convenience store. Another way to think about this, right? Like, why do certain people cut their own grass and other people hire somebody to cut it? Well, the people who cut their own grass, maybe they have a low opportunity cost of their time. I actually cut my own grass, not because of the low opportunity cost, but because I like it. But some people maybe pay somebody to do it. And the reason they do that is because they're high opportunity cost, right? Them doing the lawn means they're foregoing the opportunity to do something that's very valuable. Now, part B is kind of categorizing statements, micro, macro, positive, normative. We're just going to abbreviate. I'm going to use like an I here and an A here and an N here and a P here. And we'll read the statements. I've underlined some key terms. The U.S. unemployment rate is holding steady at 7.2%. So that's the whole economy. So I'm going to say macro, and it's just a fact, right? By the way, today the unemployment rate is not 7.2, but this is more like the statement itself, right? So we'd say that's a positive statement or a fact-based statement. Congress should, right? So that's a macro because the whole economy, when we're talking about whole economy income taxes to encourage work, and should, well, that's going to make this a normative statement. Colleges should lower the tuition for freshmen and sophomores. Here we've got one industry, the colleges, and even within that, we've got a subset of customers. So this tells me it's micro. It's one industry, and it's even a subset of that industry. And we're saying should, so that's going to be another normative statement. The prices of all the goods in the economy are rising in spite of a recent recession. Well, that's macro, and this is a fact, right? Are rising. So we would say positive statement. Cutting tax rates will lead to economic growth. Now, when we say tax rates, we're applying that to all kinds of different stuff in the whole economy. So I'm going to say macro. And will lead to is predictive. And that predictiveness of it is something that's like a testable hypothesis. We can say that that would be a normative statement. US companies are selling, 1.4 billion of machinery to Germany. US companies, Germany, the whole economy, we're going to say macro, are selling. That's like, this is how much is happening right now. That's going to be a positive statement. Clayton High School, well, that's a micro statement right there, right? We're dealing with one, should allocate reserve parking spaces to seniors. Again, a normative statement. We should do something. Schnucks, one company, that's a micro. If they lowered prices, people would buy more groceries. Again, this is actually a fact-based statement, so we're going to say positive. Then we have movie ticket prices will increase by 5% this year. For this, again, we're making kind of a prediction in that sense. So we can say micro and normative. And then last, college athletes should be paid to play. That's going to be micro. Again, it's one industry, and the athletes are a subset of that industry. Should be is going to tell us it's normative. So hopefully this helps you make sense a little bit of the micro versus macro, normative and positive, and the basic fundamentals of opportunity cost. I'll see you next time.